Which job is a lot less fun than most people expect? Video game tester. You aren't spending your time playing completed fully realized games. You are playing the same level of a game over and over, seeing if there are bugs. Also, you are probably not going to test the next GTA, but something like Barbie's Super Happy Funland 3 or some other game aimed for kids 8 and under. And you have to play it for 8 to 10 hours a day, every day. My old roommate was a video game tester. He echoed exactly what you said, except sometimes it wasn't even playing a full level. There were times where he had to stay in a certain room and do things like pick up this item and throw it in this direction. Pick up that item, throw it in a different direction. Run up and down and all along the walls, pressing every button individually, and then different button combinations to see if anything broke. He said that sometimes clearing out a small room in a video game in terms of trying to find glitches would take up to a day, depending on how much was going on in the video game. There were also 15 other people doing the exact same thing that day on their own testing station. He was a huge nerd, like, at 22 years old, had just stopped wearing a Naruto headband in public nerd, whose life was video games, and after a year of doing this, he was completely burned out. He said that he would try to sit down at his PC and little big game, and he would just stare at the menu feeling dreadful about trying to play, and he would just exit. Zookeeper. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome to be around so many amazing animals and care for them, but the smells are ridiculously, insanely foul. I have a really strong stomach, and it's still tough for me. We've had some interns quit over it. I was warned about the smells when getting into the field, but thought, oh, I volunteered at animal shelters, I know what animal stink smells like. Nope. Not even close. Which smell the worst? Are there any that don't? Otters. I don't think I know a single person who works with otters who's not bothered by the smell. They are related to ferrets, so they have super strong musk, way stronger than ferrets, and smear it everywhere. They also eat nothing but fish, and you really can smell it in their oily, gooey poop. Big cats. Out in the open it's not so bad, but I've thrown up in the night houses rain shelters before. Huge 6-pound piles of cat shit all over the floor, with no litter to mask the smell. Unneutered male lions will spray too, like a cat. One lion makes enough spray to make the whole place smell like a cat hoarder's house. Demolition. Everyone wants to break shit with a sledgehammer. Everyone is tired of lifting that sledgehammer by 5 swings. Nobody wants to load the broken stuff into bags or a wheelbarrow and take it to the dumpster. I did a 2-week demo job years ago where I had to jackhammer, 75 pounds at least, a concrete slab and grind rebar into pieces. I'm in good shape and that job fed me up. I always say the more fun it is to go somewhere, the worse it is to work there, like amusement parks and arcades. Honestly, every job that lots and lots of people really want to do sucks, mostly due to supply and demand. You're gonna be treated like shit, and if you complain you're gonna be fired because you're inherently replaceable, because there's thousands of people that would love to do your job for even less money than you are making. Working in an animal shelter. For sure, it's probably less intense than zookeeping, but the amount of people who apply or volunteer expecting to come in and play with cute puppies all day is absurd. We're basically animal maids. You deal with animals of all sorts of behavioral and developmental stages, shitting and pissing every f***ing where, and then you look over, and this f***ing dog named Chumbawamba swimming in his water bowl, so you gotta fill that up 6 times and dry his kennel out, and then you go and mop up the cat room around 10 kittens who want to eat your mop, and also 4 children who are all yelling that there's puke in the floor, and I must clean it, now. Not to mention all the extra behind-the-scenes work that the public never sees. How in the summer, during kitten and puppy season, the shelter built to house 500 max, has 750, and I didn't take a lunch or sit at all for any of my shifts for the past 6 days. How the courts force us to put down animals that we know can be rehabilitated, but we don't get enough funding to fight it. How animal control just showed up with the 4th pregnant stray of the week, but intake is full and even double stacked in some cases, so your coworker fosters the cats on her own. Not even to mention the shitty fucking people who do dumb shit and end up getting bit or scratched, and the animal is the one who bears those consequences. I am the proudest shelter worker in the world. I adore my job, even at its hardest. I didn't sit for 9.5 hours today, and I found a cat turd in the cuff of my jeans, but it doesn't matter because a bonded pair of adult cats got adopted today. I took 6 applications this morning, and the cat in bank 4 with the goopy eye is already looking better, and we sent a mama out to foster. The hard work is always worth it for these babies. Lawyer: no, it isn't like they show on TV. Hey, finally case is before the judge. Crap, the other party didn't show up. Next date that judge has given is 3 months away. Now, little bit about me. I am from India and have moved on from litigation to academia. Personally, it was the right decision for me as now I am way less stressed and can work on things that intellectually stimulate me. Having said that, I need to clarify that law is still a very rewarding profession. There is something in it for everyone, for those who want to change the world as well as for those who want to make money. It just demands too much of your time, plus the results of all your efforts are not immediate, and that can get stressful. Also, yes, that song "Don't Be a Lawyer" by Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is pretty spot on. I have seen this question before, and then it was Zookeeper at the top comment too. Nice. Anyways, there's this making of Frozen 2 mini doku. Most animators work weeks for a minute of animation of one character, if not less. At one point they decided to leave out a piece that one person had solely been working on. Must be crappy to be part of the credits without being able to say, "This is my part." Working in a music store, musical instruments. Your days are spent listening to 50 different people play 50 different riffs poorly simultaneously, as if they're all putting on their own concert. Some of my least favorites. Person who thinks playing well and playing loud are the same thing. Person who wants to make sure you know they are very smart and you are very lucky to be in their presence. Person who goes to absurd lengths to test out drumsticks to make sure they're pitch matched without knowing how to execute any of those techniques. Extra points if they're just going to shred them to splinters in a week anyway. People who act like you're in their way because you're trying to do your job. People who assume you couldn't possibly know anything about the instruments you play and sell all day long. Side note: I mostly loved my time working in a music store, and I enjoy helping people, but the people who come in with aggressive egos and nasty attitudes are insufferable. Lifeguarding. Everyone expects Baywatch act, saving lives all the time. But it's usually just sitting there blowing your whistle telling little shits to stop fuping around. I lifeguarded in high school. It can be mind-numbingly boring. I was certainly the tannest I've ever been though. Lucky. I'm a high schooler lifeguard and I just burn. Being a character performer at Disney. Don't get me wrong, there are some amazing perks and truly magical moments. I know I'm super lucky, and tons of people would love to be in my shoes. But the day-to-day work is exhausting in ways I never thought possible. Guests are ridiculously abusive. I've had things said and done to me I never would have imagined. The company isn't always great. It highly depends on your leadership. And there's so much focus on your body and face, good and bad, that it can be incredibly depressing and difficult emotionally. Plus, you have to accept that there's very little upward mobility. Most people grow out of it, and it's rough to know that one day you'll get too old or too fat, and you will have to start all over in a new career field. So you constantly are thinking either, 1, what you're going to do when you leave, 2, how you're going to keep yourself there. I personally knew it would be temporary, and I now only work there seasonally, while I have a normal career. But Disney has a way of sucking you in. Paleontologist. You don't get to work with full dinosaur skeletons and do all kinds of awesome expeditions. You're mostly sitting at a desk looking at some pictures and logging stuff on your computer, maybe examining a fossil occasionally. If you're lucky you can go on a real dig, and OMG spend hours in the hot sun dusting off rocks. That actually sounds pretty fun. It basically sounds like school with some extra steps. I agree, if I was as into dinosaurs as much as I was when I was 6, this would be awesome. Researching dinosaurs all day and playing in the dirt sounds good. My cousin used to work at an escape room and let me, my sister, and a few of our other cousins come in during off hours. Apparently it was the most entertained he'd ever been as game master for the escape room, largely because A, he got to see just how stupid his cousins are, B, he got to see us turn on each other at multiple points, and C, he could say whatever the hell he wanted because it was family, so he didn't have to stick to the same script. Apparently it was frustrating watching us for those first 20 minutes doing nothing and pointing at random shit saying, "Is this a clue? No, it's not, idiot, stop pointing that out." He was laughing way too hard when we finally got out. Working at a Charles Dickens fair is interesting, but not incredibly fun. It is hard to stay in character, and people get so mad when they see the Alice in Wonderland area. Yeah, we know it's not Charles Dickens, but we can't have a kids' play area in the world of Oliver Twist, okay? Lol, the kids' play area is a Call Factory Yelp review for Charles Dickens National Fair. Bah humbug. It was definitely not the best of times. It was the worst of times. So little to do, I was constantly telling the staff, "Please sir, I want some more." If you go, do not go in with great expectations. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos.